meet. Intersecting lines make these. Perpendicular lines meet at 90 degrees. Put your hands in the air with me. Parallel, intersecting, perpendicular, irregular. Lines will never touch them, you can tell that those two lines are parallel, like these telephone wires up above the street. Parallel lines will never meet. Parallel lines never meet. Intersecting lines make these. Perpendicular lines meet at 90 degrees. Put your hands in the air with me. Parallel, intersecting, perpendicular, irregular.
Parallel lines never meet. Guys, I wish I could sing. Let's remember, parallel lines never meet. You can hold your arms up in the air. They will never meet. Lines going down a telephone pole. These lines never meet. Parallel lines never meet. I remember that because of the L's. The L's in parallel will never touch. They go straight up and down. Parallel lines never meet. Perpendicular lines, we've heard this before. Perpendicular lines do meet, and when they meet, they form a nice and neat 90-degree angle. Perpendicular lines meet and form a 90-degree angle. We saw that in our triangle lesson, remember? Intersecting lines make a V. Intersecting lines make a V. So when you see those lines intersect, they meet and form a V. We know those are intersecting lines. Ladies and gentlemen, those are things that we need to know as we jump right into quadrilaterals today. It's all about quadrilaterals. What is a quadrilateral? That's right. A quadrilateral is a shape that has four sides. So long as it has four sides, it is a quadrilateral. Quad means four. So when you hear quadrilateral, know that quad means four. This shape will have four sides. What we are going to look at today are the properties of quadrilaterals. Earlier this week, we discussed the properties of triangles, a shape with three sides. But today, it's all about a quadrilateral, a shape with four sides. Let's take a little time and look at the quadrilaterals on your screen. The quadrilaterals are by letter. So this quadrilateral is A. This is quadrilateral B, quadrilateral C, quadrilateral D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Point to quadrilateral G. Yes, this is quadrilateral G. Point to quadrilateral J. You got it again. Quadrilateral P. Yes. So when I say a quadrilateral and a letter, I'm talking about the letters on this particular handout. The lines are for cutting, but of course we can't cut because we are all online. You get it? Lines online. Ha ha ha. So we're not going to cut. We are going to identify these quadrilaterals by using the letters that is actually on the quadrilateral. We are going to sort these quadrilaterals, all of them, A through P, into three different groups. Then we're going to describe the property that we used to form each group. On the second page of this assignment, properties of quadrilaterals, this is where we will actually record our properties, where we record our data. There's nothing that we have to write on the first page. we are using it for reference. So that means we'll look at it, but there's nothing that we have to write on that first page. Everything we write about quadrilaterals will be found right here on the second page. And you can see our objective here is to sort the quadrilaterals from Math Masters page T18. That's the page up top. I already have it there for you. Into 3 groups, then describe the property that you used to form each group. Before we sort, let's see what we're looking for. All of the quadrilaterals in group 1 have this property in common. All of the quadrilaterals in group 2 have this property in common. All of the quadrilaterals in group 3 have this property in common. We are finding the property. We are going to focus on the property. What kind of lines? Parallel lines. So we are looking for lines that never meet. We will identify the quadrilaterals and let's see if they have parallel lines, lines that never meet, or sides that never meet in the case of a quadrilateral, or sides that do meet. So keeping that in mind, let's look at quadrilateral A. When it comes to quadrilateral A, we can see on page 2 that A is already in group 1. Quadrilateral A is in group 1. So we know all of the quadrilaterals in group 1 have this property in common. Let's look at quadrilateral A to see what properties that this quadrilateral has because it's already placed in group 1. I'm looking at the lines. There's one set. Okay, these lines are the exact same. So what is it about these lines? Are they parallel, perpendicular, or intersecting? They're parallel. We can go on and on with this line and it will never meet. No matter how long we make this set of lines on these sides, it will never meet as long as we go straight. So this quadrilateral definitely has one set of parallel sides. Let's look at the other 2 sides. Only looking at the purple lines. Are the purple lines parallel, perpendicular, or intersecting? Yes, they are parallel as well. When I look at this quadrilateral A, I can see that this quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Pair 1 is in yellow. The second pair is in purple. This quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel sides. They're parallel because they will never, ever meet. Back to our assignment. On this line, because we know that this quadrilateral falls into group 1, we know that every quadrilateral in group 1, they all have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Remember, parallel sides never meet. Go back to that wonderful video and you will see a great example again of parallel sides never meet. Back to business. We know group 1, A, they all have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Instead of going to B, let's go to group 2 and look at the quadrilateral the assignment already has. So I'm looking at quadrilateral H. Group 2, quadrilateral H. Let's go check out the properties of that quadrilateral. H. Oh, there you are, H. A, B, C, D. Yes, there's H. Let's see if these lines are parallel. We can look at it and tell if they'll never meet, or you might even want to draw some lines. For me, I'm going to draw a line. If I keep going all the way on my paper, keeping straight, okay, there's one side. Let me look at the other side. I'm going straight. Oh, snap! Those lines meet. Because they meet, they are not parallel, because parallel lines never meet. And I'm looking at these lines, they definitely meet. They cross paths. As I look at these lines, just for fun, are they perpendicular or intersecting? Yes, they intersect because intersecting lines form a V. Yes, they intersect. So how is this quadrilateral H different from A? So far, it has one set of intersecting lines. Let's look at the other sides. Let's use teal this time. Using teal, going across. Oh, those lines look like they are parallel. These teal lines will never meet. I can draw and go on, and these lines will never meet on either side. Quadrilateral H has one set of parallel lines in teal and one set of intersecting lines in purple. If I ask you the difference between quadrilateral A and H, what would you say? Yes, quadrilateral A has two sets of parallel lines that never meet. Quadrilateral H has one set of parallel lines. The other sides are intersecting. If you have to go listen to what I just said again, please do. But at this point, understand that parallel lines will never meet and how to identify them. And intersecting lines, they do meet at some point. They don't have to meet on both sides. As we can see here, the lines cross at the top. They intersect. They form a V. For our property of every quadrilateral that we will put in group 2, they all have one pair of parallel sides. This quadrilateral A had two pairs of parallel sides. Quadrilateral H only had one pair of parallel sides. Let's look at the quadrilateral that is already placed in group 3. And it looks like quadrilateral E. Quadrilateral E is already there in group 3. Let's go check out the properties and see if it has any parallel lines. Oop, I forgot the quadrilateral. Quadrilateral E. So I'm going back to look at quadrilateral E. Oh, this looks like a doozy, but I can do doozies just like you. Let's look at the sides. Looking at this side and the side directly across from it. Oh my, I can tell right away from these sides, they definitely meet. These lines intersect. They are not parallel. Let's look at the other side. Let's use purple. You guys know I like purple. If I draw this line on and on and on, well, here they are. I can see right away that they actually meet. They already meet. So if I keep going, these lines cross as well. So this quadrilateral does not have one set of parallel sides. So quadrilateral E, we are looking for quadrilaterals. They have no too many R's in there. Parallel sides. They have no parallel sides. Okay, now that we know the basics, let's go ahead and put each of the quadrilaterals in a category. Let's start with B. We have an example of the first group where two sides are parallel. We have an example of the second group where it has one set of parallel sides. And we have an example of group 3 where there are no parallel sides. So now we're going to choose if each of these quadrilaterals will go in group 1 Group 2 or Group 3? Let's start with B. Looking at quadrilateral B, does this quadrilateral have one pair of parallel sides, two pairs of parallel sides, or no parallel sides? You're absolutely right. No pair of parallel sides. If this kept going, this line kept going on, and this side we kept going on, eventually they will meet. When I look at these sides, if this keeps going and this line keeps going, eventually they will meet. So B goes into Group 3. It does not have any parallel sides. Let's look at quadrilateral C. I'm erasing it just so I can have room. You might not have to draw all these lines. Maybe you can look at it and tell immediately if the lines will intersect or not. For quadrilateral C, oh, look at these perpendicular lines. I know they're perpendicular because of their right angle. But moving on. Look at each side. Okay, if we kept going, do you think that these lines would meet? Yes, they would. If we kept going with these lines, they would meet. They would intersect. What about the other sides? If we keep going, do you think that these lines will intersect? Yes. How do I know that? This space here is getting narrower and it's becoming more narrow. So eventually, they're going to meet up. If I just keep going with these lines, they are going to meet up. So this quadrilateral does not have any sides that are parallel. And because of that, with quadrilateral C, go in Group 1, Group 2, or Group 3. Right, Group 3. So I am going to put my C there. Let's keep going. Quadrilateral D. When I look at quadrilateral D, I can see right away that this shape definitely has at least one side of parallel lines. Why? Look at this, the sides on A and B. Don't they look the same? I know I can draw these lines forever and they will never meet. Let's check out the other side. Oops, my line's a little crooked. Hopefully yours is straight. Excuse me. Miss Adams drew a straight line. There we go. Oh my, that space is getting smaller and smaller. So I know eventually they will intersect. Because they will intersect, let's look at this again. It has one side that will intersect and one side of lines that are parallel. Do you think this quadrilateral will go in Group 1, Group 2, or Group 3? Yes, quadrilateral D will go in Group 2. Please use your text tool for this. Don't try to draw your letters. I want to clearly see that you are placing your quadrilaterals in the right group. We identified quadrilateral E and put it in Group 3. No parallel sides. Let's move on to quadrilateral F. F is one we know right away. Why? Doesn't this look familiar? The lines are perpendicular, but we're looking at the sides, the entire side, not just where they meet, but the entire side. If I go on, these lines are parallel. They will never meet. Let's look at the other side, too. If I go on, will these lines ever meet? The teal lines? They will not. Quadrilateral F has two sides that are parallel, two pairs of parallel sides. What group will they go in? Quadrilateral F. Yes, group 1. Group 1, 2 pairs of parallel sides. Oh, y'all are rocking this out. Let's keep going. I'm going to skip G. I want you to complete G. But tell me, look at G. Let's look at the sides. I'll highlight that for you. There's, oh, wrong tool, drawing tool. Here's one side. Here's one side. Here's one side. So looking at this quadrilateral, ask yourself, are there 2 pairs of parallel sides, 1 pair of parallel sides, or no pair of parallel sides? Then you're going to go down and put it in the right group. Group 1, 2 pairs of parallel sides. Group 2, 1 pair of parallel sides. Group 3, no parallel sides. Do not get discouraged. At this point, do not get discouraged. If you have to keep drawing this line to see if they meet, do it. Do it, guys. And go by your lines and ask yourself, will these lines ever meet? If they will never meet, like here in this quadrilateral F, then I know it has 2 sides that are parallel. If one side meets, then I know I'm going to put that in column B in group 2 with 1 pair of parallel sides. It's going to take a little practice. We're going to have to listen to this maybe even twice. That's okay. Let's move on to I. Now, have we seen this before? Pretty much. I looks very similar to quadrilateral F. It's just tilted straight. F is tilted to the side. I is straight up and down. So based on what you already know, does I have 2 parallel sides, 1 parallel side, or no parallel sides? Yes, 2 parallel sides. So I'm going to put this I in group 1. I'm going to scroll down and in group 1, type I. There's my I. Let's do one more together, and then I think you can handle it from here. Looking at quadrilateral J. Quadrilateral J. Let's check the sides out. You probably already know, don't you? Here's 1 pair of parallel sides. Are the other sides parallel as well? Yes, they are. They will never meet. We can draw these lines forever and ever and ever, and they will never meet. What group should we put J in? Yes, group 1, because, oh no, J, group 1, because they have 2 pairs of parallel sides. At this time, keep going. Look at quadrilateral K. Identify the parallel sides. Place it in the correct group. Group 1, group 2, group 3. And then do the same thing for quadrilateral L, M, N, O, and P. You got this. After you've finished, look at number 2. Ask yourself, in which of your groups does quadrilateral X belong? Explain. So you're going to tell me the group 1, group 2, or group 3, and then explain. Quadrilateral X has, tell me, 1 pair of parallel sides, 2 pair of parallel sides, 0 pair of parallel sides, just like all of the other quadrilaterals in group, what group again? So your sentence will not have lines. You are telling me quadrilateral X right here has what? Does it have 2 pair of parallel sides, 1 pair of parallel sides, or no parallel sides? One of these 3 properties you will type instead of a line. And then you're going to restate the group. Which group was it again? Group 1, Group 2, or Group 3. You do not have to complete the try this because we don't have a geometry template, so we will not complete number 3. For the last page, your math boxes, the number 24 has how many factors? Fill the circle next to the correct answer. You can actually circle it. Circle how many factors the number 24 has. What is a factor? The numbers that can be multiplied. So for example, if my number is 9, how many factors does 9 have? 1 times 9 equals 9. 3 times 3 equals 9. So 9 has 1, 2, 3 factors. 1, 9, and 3. These are the numbers that can be multiplied that will equal 9. So I'm asking you, how many factors does the number 24 have? So instead of 24, ask yourself how many factors. For sure, there's 1 in 24. Keep going, and you're telling me how many factors the number 24 has. Number 2, Mauve is 3 years old. Mauve's brother is 4 times as old as Mauve. Write an equation with an unknown to represent this problem, then solve. Your unknown, remember, is a letter. So don't put the answer on this line. Put the letter. You're solving it here. How old is Mauve's brother? The second line is for your answer. Number 3, television coverage of the hockey game began at 7 p.m. The game went into 3 overtimes and did not end until midnight. Who's up that late? How many minutes did the game last? How many minutes did the game last? There are, this may help you, 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So using that information, how many minutes did the game last? It started at 7 and did not end until midnight. Midnight is 12 a.m. How many minutes did this game last? Number 4, Benji gave away his entire set of 850 plastic blocks. He gave 358 blocks to Carl and 267 blocks to Beth. How many blocks did he have left to give to Nico? A couple steps we have to make here. 1, we're going to estimate how many blocks he had left. He started with 850. He gave 358 away and 267. How many blocks does he have left to give to Nico? First, you're going to put an estimate. Your estimate might look something like this. 850 minus, I'm going to estimate 358 to 350 minus 300. I'm just looking at close to estimation. What's 850 minus 350 minus 300? That's good, okay? Maybe your estimate will look like this. Now, give an exact answer. The exact answer. 850 minus 358 minus 267. Don't worry about the number model, but I do want you to compare your answer to your estimate and tell me if it makes sense. It might be easier for you to add these two numbers together. So 358, maybe you want to estimate that to 400. 267, maybe you want to estimate that to 300. 400 plus 300 equals 700. So 850 minus 700. Choose your own strategy to estimate. So you are answering. You're putting your estimate on this line. Show me the problem that you used. an exact answer, you don't have to do this, and then compare your answer to your estimate. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Finally, number 5, for problem 2, Abby said Mav's brother is 15. She explained that she added 3 years to Mav's age 4 times. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. Do you agree with her reasoning? Why or why not? And for that, she's looking at number 2. Do you agree with the reasoning? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. Yes or no? And then explain.